What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Canelo Alvarez, a guy that's on the pound for pound list. Whether you have him rated 1, 2, or 3, he's on the pound for pound list in the top 3 with Vasily Lomachenko and Terrence Bud Crawford. He jumps up 2 weight classes to fight Sergey Kovalev in a 175-pound light heavyweight title match. Very interesting fight. You know, when this fight was first announced, a whole lot of people were like, man, Canelo gonna beat Sergey Kovalev, man. Sergey Kovalev is weak to the body. Canelo's going to go to the body, and that's going to be all she wrote for Sergey Kovalev. And I don't think it's going to be quite that simple. I don't think it's going to be quite that easy. You know, they got Paulie Malignaggi had a great quote. He said they have weight classes for a reason. This fight is very interesting. I'm way more pumped for this fight than I was when Canelo Alvarez fought Danny Jacobs, man. For some reason, I just was not hyped for that fight. I watched it, but, you know, days leading up to the fight, I was like, man, I'm not even really feeling this fight, man. I'm like, you know, I thought I was going to be more hyped, especially when they announced that fight. I was going to be more hyped for the Canelo Alvarez-Danny Jacobs fight, but I just wasn't hyped for that fight. I'm way more hyped for this fight. I got to give Canelo a lot of credit for jumping up 2 weight classes. That makes this fight very, very interesting. You know, very, very interesting. I think part of the reason why I wasn't that hyped for the Alvarez-Jacobs fight is because Jacobs has got one gear. I know what Daniel Jacobs is. He's a good fighter, but he's a B-level fighter. He's not an upper echelon fighter. You look at his past fights, when he's in there with top-level opponents, he seems like he's got that one gear, and he doesn't have that extra gear to take his career to that next level of superstar status. I kind of saw that in a Triple G fight. I thought that was a fight for the taking for him to win, and he didn't do the things he needed to do. He didn't he didn't put his foot on the gas. I thought he fought off the back foot too much. He got a little bit aggressive in that fight toward the midway point of that fight and came on at the end of that fight. But I just thought he fought like he believed in the hype of Triple G power early on in that fight, and I thought he gave away rounds that ultimately cost him the decision in that fight. With the knockdown of Triple G's too, cost him the decision in that fight. But I regress and talk about past fights. Let's talk about Sergey Kovalev versus Canelo Alvarez. This fight is going to come down to the jab. Both guys got good jabs. Now, everybody will say going into this fight that Kovalev probably has the better jab. He probably has the stronger jab, the stiffer jab. But Canelo Alvarez's jab is very underrated. And he's going to try to out-jab the jabber. If he can beat Kovalev in the strength of Kovalev's arsenal, you know, I think Canelo feels that'll put him in the path to victory. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Canelo's going to try to out-jab him, number one. He's going to try to time the jab. With the left jab, he's going to try to come over the top with the left jab. And he's going to try to come over the top with a straight right. Because Canelo Alvarez is a classic Hispanic fighter that he has a great left hook. Out of all the great past Hispanic champions have had great left hooks. As you know, whether we talking about Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., whether we talking about Oscar De La Hoya, whether we talk about Danny Garcia, you know, Puerto Rican descent, you know, a Latino fighter. A lot of the great Latino fighters have had great left hooks. And Canelo Alvarez is out of that same, pantheon of great Hispanic fighters, man. Great left hook, great straight right. And he does a good job of, Canelo Alvarez I'm talking about, does a good job of punching with you. When you're throwing punches, he does a good job of throwing his punching with you. So Kovalev is going to have to be really careful because Canelo Alvarez has the faster hands that when he's throwing his combination, and Kovalev is let me put it like this, he's a great combination puncher. But he's got to be careful that Canelo's going to try to punch with him, and Canelo figures that with his faster hand, he's going to be able to land his shots faster and more crisper and land and get to the mark before Kovalev gets to his mark, per se. So I think that's going to be a thing that we need to watch when we're watching this fight. Now, Canelo Alvarez is a good guy, good fighter as doing feints. He feints to try to get you out of position. You know, he'll throw that left hook with a lot of power and get your attention with the left hook, and he'll feint it later on in that round or later on in the fight. He'll do that same feint. You know, he'll see that same put it like this. He'll paint that same picture as he's gonna throw that left hook again to get you to faint, and to get you to bring your guard down, because he's a devastating body puncher with the left hook. And once you bring your body down, he'll come over the top with the straight right, man. He does a good job of feinting to set you up, get you out of position, and he's always got a counter to what you think he's going to throw. So he's a very high IQ fighter, and there's a reason why the guy's on a pound for pound list. The guy's a great fighter, man. Great fighter, defensively responsible, throws a lot of punches, and even when he does get caught, he seems like he doesn't get caught with. You might get caught with one punch, but he don't get caught with a punch and another punch after that. You might catch him with that one punch. You try to throw that second punch, he's gonna try to either duck it or he's gonna try to roll with it, and you're not gonna really get the connect that you thought you was gonna get. When you land that first punch, you throw the left jab, you try to double up on the jab, he's moving his head, he's getting it out the way. You throw the right hand, you might catch him with the right hand. You throw it, you try to double up on the right hand, he's gonna roll with it. So he's a very good defensive fighter, man. You never catch him with that same punch in a row like that. Very rarely, man. He's a scientific fighter, man, and a great body puncher, and a great straight jab, and he's just a complete fighter. Like a lot of people say that he's not, he doesn't have great footwork, but for what I'm seeing, he's got okay footwork. It's decent, it's good enough, and it seemed like the only time his footwork actually came into a negative impact on this fight was when he fought Mayweather. Mayweather's probably got the best footwork in boxing, so that fight was the only fight I can see. Well, damn, he just can't match Mayweather's footwork. Mayweather is just controlling the real estate of the ring, hitting him with the jab, getting him out of position, hitting him with straight rights, putting him in a position where he can go to the body. And Mayweather put on a masterpiece, virtuoso performance in that fight. And that's the only time I really watched the Canelo fight and said, man, his footwork just ain't matching up. The other fights, people say, oh, he's got slow feet or he got bad footwork. It don't stop him from landing his punches, man. And you notice when you watch Canelo, man, when he throw his punches have a different sound. He's a very accurate precision puncher, but it's got a different sound. It's like boom, boom, boom. It's like when he throws punch, somebody to turn up the volume or turn up the bass when he throws his punches. Man, that guy his punches are different than what I see other fighters do. Even Kovalev's probably more harder punches, more devastating punches, but his punches don't have the same sound, man, that Canelo has, man. A very precision, accurate puncher, man. It's gonna be a good fight. Jumping up 2 weight classes gonna be the real key to the fight. Can Canelo? I ain't gonna say jumping up 2 weight classes. Let me change that. He's actually jumping up 1 weight class. He fought at 168, beat Rocky Fielding, so he has a belt, even though that's a secondary belt. He's got a WBA regular super middleweight belt, so he's actually jumping up 1 weight class, but it's still 7 pounds. So that's gonna be the $61,000 question. Can he take those punches? He's gonna get hit, with the jab. The left jab of Kovalev. Kovalev has a good straight right. Canelo's going to try to get inside, and I think what Sergey is going to try to do, he's going to try to, as soon as he gets inside, he's going to try to grab him and wrap him up. He's going to try to kill and nullify that inside work, because Kovalev wants to fight at a distance. If the fight is at a distance, Kovalev has a great chance to pull this fight off. If he fights at a distance, man, because he's the longer fighter, he's got the good jab. He can make Canelo reset. He can go to the body. He's got a very, very underrated straight right to the body, and he hurts a lot of his opponents, especially when he was in his crusher days. That straight right to the body hurt a lot of opponents, but they was worried about the straight right up top, and he would sneak it down to the body, and it would debilitate his opponent. So Canelo's got to be very, very wary of that. He's a beautiful combination puncher. Doesn't have much of an inside game, as we all know with Kovalev. His inside game was real bad, real horrible, not good, mediocre at best. Well, I ain't gonna say mediocre. It's horrible. I'm not gonna even mince no words. It's not good. And he got exposed in the first and second Andre Ward fight, not being a good inside fighter. And Canelo, who is a good inside fighter. Canelo is a complete fighter, and he'll be looking to expose that. But the key is Kovalev's jab. Will that jab, if he throws that jab and makes Canelo reset and makes Canelo hesitant to try to time it and go over the top with the right hand, then Kovalev's gonna be in good shape. But if Canelo, which I suspect he will be able to, he's gonna eat that jab. He's gonna have to be willing to eat that jab so he can come over tight with that right hand and get Kovalev to kind of be hesitant to throw that jab, which is Kovalev's best weapon. Then that's going to be a battle won by Canelo, and that's going to lead to a path lead Canelo down a path of victory in this fight. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I think it's going to go to the judges. I think both fighters have a lot of attributes they bring into the ring, but I just think Canelo being a little bit fresher, he will be able to. Another thing before I give you my prediction, Canelo cannot be on the ropes. You know, he did that in the first Triple G fight. He was on the ropes too much, and he got annihilated on the ropes, man. He got hit with jabs and right hands, and Triple G really had his way late in that fight with a Canelo on the ropes in the first fight. He can't do that with Kovalev because, number one, Kovalev has a better jab than Triple G. It's more stiffer. It's almost like a left hand. It's almost like a straight left hand as far as power-wise. He's got a real strong, stiff jab, so he can't be laying on the ropes. And if he laying on the ropes, he's going to be successful to the right hand and when he's on the ropes, too. And them right hands he was taking from Triple G, he can't take them right hands for Kovalev. Can't do it. Kovalev is a more... You know, back in the day, Triple G, I ain't gonna say back in the day, about 5-6 years ago when Triple G Mania was running rapid in the world of boxing, he got more publicity than Sergey Kovalev, and he was looked upon higher than Kovalev as he was in the pound-for-pound rankings, and Kovalev probably was in it too, but like ranked somewhere in top 10, 8, 9, or 10, and Triple G was up in the top 5. Triple G was not a better fighter than Kovalev at that time. You know, Triple G just got the hype behind him. He had the HBO hype machine behind him, and he was able to, to his credit, get that and get his career and take his career to another level. But he actually was never not a better fighter than Kovalev back then. Kovalev was a much better jab, better right hand, a harder, fiercer body puncher. So many people get it twisted thinking that Kovalev is not an inside fighter. That means that he don't have good body work. He has good body work, but he throws it from a distance. He's got to throw his body punches from a distance. Inside, in a phone booth type of fight, he nullified. He has no body work. But if you get him at a distance, he can do everything from a distance. From a distance, he's one of the best fighters in boxing today from a distance. It ain't nothing he can't do from a distance. He got the whole package from a distance, but it's not about just fighting at a distance. You got to be able to fight inside and fight in the phone booth, and that's where the problem comes for Sergey Kovalev. I mean, as you saw, he got exposed in Andre Ward's first and second fight. So we'll see what happens, man. But as far as prediction goes, man, I got Canelo Alvarez in a very close, competitive, roller coaster type of fight, back and forth type action. I got him beating Sergey Kovalev by split decision. I think it's gonna be a controversial fight, man. I think you're gonna have a lot of people thinking Kovalev won, a lot of people think Canelo won. But I think the difference in the fight is Canelo gonna be landing the more accurate punches, the more eye-popping punches. He's gonna be going to the body. He's gonna do better on the inside than Kovalev. From a distance, Kovalev will control the action, but it won't be enough to pull off the victory for Kovalev as Canelo will force the fight inside and force it into a phone booth battle and make it a rough and tumble inside type of fight where he can use his good body work and his uppercut and his quicker hands inside. I think that'll be the difference in the fight, man. But it's going to be a good fight, man, and wouldn't be surprised at all if Kovalev won this fight, man, because this is a dangerous fight for Canelo. Give him props for jumping up 2 weight classes and fighting a guy of Kovalev's stature, because Kovalev is the truth. You know, a lot of people say he's not fresh, he's worn down. The man lost to one of the greats of all time in Andre Ward twice. Ain't no shame in that. And then he got dropped by Alvarez with a fight that he was winning, got knocked out, came back and redeemed himself and put on a boxing virtuoso performance in a rematch and beat Atlanta Alvarez. So the guy is not as washed up or as shop worn as people try to make him out to be. He's the best guy at 175, contrary to what people saying about Berthabiev, who finally got in there with a real fighter, and give him credit for being Gospic, but he doesn't have a resume at 175 that Kovalev has. So we got a quick jump in the gun and trying to crown people kings of a weight division before they actually accomplish something as far as beating quality fighters. But Kovalev is the top dog at 175, so to give Canelo credit for jumping up. Like I said, I'm very hyped for this fight, way more hyped for this fight than I was the Daniel Jacobs fight. And I'm a Daniel Jacobs fan, don't get me wrong, but I know what he is, man. He's just a very good fighter, nothing more, nothing less, B-level fighter. He getting there with an A-level fighter, he gonna lose 10 times out of 10. That's Daniel Jacobs, in my opinion. Getting there with Triple G, lose. Getting there with Canelo, lose. He getting there with Andrade, he'll lose. You know, he getting there with Jamel Charlo. I think he'll probably lose that fight, but I don't know about Jamil. I think Jamil is a B+ A level fighter. He kind of like on that border, so on that border. But I got to see him in there with some top level competition to make a decision on Jamil if he's a level fighter. Right now, I think he's somewhere in that B+ A- level to proven otherwise. But that'll be a good fight for Daniel Jacobs. But as far as Kovalev versus Canelo Alvarez, I got Canelo Alvarez by split decision over Sergey Kovalev to become the champion at 175 and have all 3 titles at one time in 3 different weight classes, 175, 168, and 160, holding those 3 titles simultaneously. Another notch on Canelo Alvarez's belt. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.